Hey, my name is DelmarshaeWalker. Welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is doing great today. A few videos back, I talked about how we as Black people should stop looking at slavery as being our beginning, our starting point, as far as we're descendants from slaves, and kind of look at past that, what was before slavery. Because slavery is not who we are. Slavery is something that happened to us as a people. So, slavery, I'm not saying like just forget about slavery, act like it never happened, but just more or less put it on pause for a moment, put it on the back burner, and focus more on who we are as a people. This is how I feel. I feel like as Black people in America, we're was taught to conform, and with us conforming also included our hair, making sure our hair was straight, making sure our hair was this way, that way. And so by doing so, we lost who we were in the beginning, because one of the first things they did during slavery time was cut our hair. Because in Africa, the continent of Africa, a lot of the tribes, hair meant certain things to them. Depending on how your hair was styled, it denoted your status in your tribe. If you was married, if you was single, if you was a king, if you was a queen. Hair represented different things in different tribes. And so by cutting our hair, that also made us lose our identity of who we were. And now we're still, one of the things they focus most on with us as Black people is our hair. They don't like the way our hair looks. They don't like the way our hair naturally grows out of our head. So that is something they still is, and they have us at the point that we would rather take care of hair that's not ours and neglect the hair that is ours. You see a lot of women when you look through YouTube videos who are suffering through traction alopecia, not alopecia, but traction alopecia, because there is a difference. And traction alopecia comes from pulling the hair too tight or wearing it in a certain style. And sometimes women will get their hair braided in order to wear wigs, and they focus more on the look of the wig than they do the health of their hair. And so to me, that's very sad that we go to that point to try to fit into a society that we was never really meant to fit into. Because if you look at us, just looking at us, we're totally different. Mentally, we're different. We're all human. So I'm not trying to separate us from the human race, but there is a difference in who we are as far as the way we look. If you put different nationalities in a crowd, and then you put a Black person, we're going to automatically stand out. Even if we're not trying to, we're going to stand out against every nationality in the world because we're so different. Our hair is so different than every nationality in the world. So we're never going to fit in, no matter where we go on the continent, other than Africa, other than another place where there's Black people. We're going to always be the group that's going to stand out more than any other group. So I'm saying that to more or less say this. If you think of it this way, I feel that we're lost people as far as we don't have that connection to our true heritage like other cultures have. And we're searching for that, but we're not finding it, or we're not getting the information. Some people are, some people do kind of get an idea of who they are, the sense of self. But I think for a lot of us, Black Americans, that we don't get a sense of self. Because if you think about it, it's almost like we was snatched from our mother, which was Africa, and we was brought to another land, almost like adopted, a forced adoption. So we don't know who we truly come from. And if you ever talk to a person that may have been adopted, or if you talk to a person who had one or more parent not in their life for whatever reason, they don't feel whole until they meet that parent, the parent who either gave them up for adoption or the parent that's missing out of their life. No, and this is not like every child that was adopted or every child that had someone missing out of their life, but they feel like a piece of them is a puzzle piece is missing until they get to know or get an understanding or get to see that other person to kind of get a sense of self. So you will see people who have been adopted, no matter how great their adoptive parents are, no matter how much they love their adoptive parents, they still sometimes want to get in contact with their mother who gave them up for adoption, or somebody in their family who, so they can kind of get an idea of who they came from. Like, why do I look like this? Why do I talk like that? Is anybody else in my family? You know, they try to find that relation, that somebody they can relate to give them that understanding of self. And I feel that that's how we are as Africans, you know, as Black people in America. We're still looking for that sense of self, and we're not finding that, because if we go back to slavery, that's not a sense of self. That's not who we are. That's not who we was born to be. And anytime you're looking, you know, being in America, especially like during the time I was growing up, you look on TV, you look in magazines, you look in this, you never seen anyone, I never seen anyone that looked like me, you know, and if I did, it was like one in a million. You know, it's like you see white people, one Black person, white people, one Black person. So it wasn't like a constant. It was like here and there spots. It's like almost like finding Waldo. It's like finding a Black person. And so a lot of times they would take us out of things that, you know, they act like Black people did not exist in America and Black people did not exist in the Bible. And being a Christian, I truly love God, and like I said, I'm grounded in being a Christian. I don't follow religion. Religion and being a follower of God, I feel, are two different things. That's just my opinion. I feel it's two different things, because I feel like man can make up a religion. Right now, somebody can come and say, okay, this is a new religion. This is how we worship, that, this, that, and the other. So that's why I don't cling to religion. I cling to God. I cling to Jesus. Because if I have the Bible and the Bible is saying Jesus is the way and the only way, then that's the direction I should go to. During slavery times, they used the Bible to control us, and that's why they never wanted us to read. They used the Bible to control us, and they only taught the parts of the Bible that they wanted to teach in order to make us subservient. Then they would teach certain Black people to read and have them read what they wanted in the Bible. So it's almost like, oh, it's not coming from just me, the slave master. It's coming from someone who looked just like you. This is how you're supposed to act. This is how you're supposed to behave. So they would teach Black people to read so they could read the Bible. But they only wanted them to read certain parts of the Bible to other Black people, to the other slaves, in order to keep them subservient. And they made the Bible seem like it was just white people in it, like there was no Black people in the Bible. Even when they made movies about the Bible, it was always white people. And sometimes, like if you watch any of those older movies about the Bible, sometimes you wouldn't even see a Black person. And I'm like, how you on the continent of Africa, are close, you know, you're and there's no Black person in the film at all, in the movie at all, and y'all are on the continent of Africa. So you're trying to tell me Jesus didn't come in contact with no Black people, you know? That was always crazy to me when I used to watch those movies. But it's like they try to make it seem like we was never there. Like we were so insignificant that we were never in history. History doesn't include Black people other than slave. Black people slave, Black people slave. And I want us mentally to get away from that. Black people queens, Black people kings, Black people owning kingdoms, having kingdoms, Black people, you know, in power positions, because that's how it was. That's the true nature of who we were before slavery happened to us. Not be that's who we are, slaves, subservient, but who we were before then. And we need to get that mentality. And the part that hurts me the most is this. Once slavery was over, those black preachers continued to do the same thing. But before, when they was only preaching certain parts of the Bible, it was to benefit the slave master. Then when they became free and they started preaching the Bible, like I said, they did it the same way. They said, oh, we can use the Bible to still keep black people subservient, but now to us as the preachers. The worst thing that can happen to black people or black communities are black preachers. The ones that are not truly teaching the Bible. Jesus was a teacher, not a preacher. Black men, black communities need teachers, because they will always say it's more black women in the church than black men. I wonder why. Because it's hard when women are taught, even in the Bible, to be submissive to their husband. If they don't have a husband and they feel that this is a man in authority or have an authoritarian voice, they're going to be subservient to them. And some women take it even further, that they will not listen to their husband and listen to a preacher. What black men need is a teacher. Why wasn't anyone really teaching the Bible and talking about how the part that Ethiopian played in the Bible, about how black people play their part in the Bible? Teach the whole Bible. A lot of times it's like they only talk about certain parts of the Bible and that's it. And I feel like, it's like, show us where we fit in creation. When God made Adam and Eve, show us how we play, us as black people, and you as black preachers should be teachers. Show us how we fit in that environment in the Bible, so we could say, oh, okay, I see myself here. Then you would have more men wanting to come to church as young men, who you could raise them up with the mentality of, this is who you are, this is where you come from. You come from great people. You didn't come from slaves. You came from kings and queens whose kingdom was overran, who people was kidnapped and turned into slaves. But slaves aren't who they are. And if you teach people the true sense of self, then they can go ahead and grow up that way. Because a lot of times I feel that preachers want people to be dependent on them and not independent of them. Because Jesus, everybody who ran with Jesus, his 12 disciples, they was able to exorcise demons out of people. Jesus didn't just keep that to himself. He also passed that along to that power along to the people who was with him, so they would be able to exorcise demons out of people. He also gave them the ability to raise dead. You see in certain disciples in the Bible how they was able to raise someone from the dead. They had the same power that Jesus had. He didn't, it's like he wasn't selfish with who he was. He passed it along to them. So I feel like if you're a preacher, why aren't you passing all this knowledge that's in this Bible along to your congregation? They should have a powerful mentality, not a subservient mentality. They should be showing up to church because they're steady in need. They should be coming to church because they're saying, okay, this is who I am. I know who I am. I want to come here. I want to make sure my family come here so we can grow, so we can build. Just think about how powerful that would be. Get rid of the crab in the bucket mentality. There's so many people walking around with that mentality that they don't want to truly help people, because they feel like if I help someone, that's going to hurt me in the long run. When in reality, it would, I'm sorry, but in reality, it will not hurt you. It will only benefit you more and more and more. People cannot see that. Like I said, Think about if Jesus would have been selfish and be like, no, they're not gonna be able to do this. I want to be Jesus. I want to be the main man. I want to be the only one who can cast out demons. I want to be the only one who can do this or do that. No, he gave them the power. Even with Peter, Jesus walked on the water, Peter walked on the water. Because Jesus extended his power to Peter so he could have the ability to walk on the water. But some people, he could have easily said, "No, stay in the boat. You're not gonna be able to say you walked on the water." And it's like, I don't know, I'm getting frustrated because I feel like we should be so much further than where we are as a people. We should not be having the same conversation as a people. We should not have the same struggles as a people. And I feel it's because of sense of self, not truly knowing who you are. Sometimes you can't, I'm not going to say can't. Sometimes it's hard to move forward when you're steady looking backwards trying to see, who am I really? Where did I come from? It's like something that's stirring in you, and until you get that answer, until you find that peace of, okay, now I know who I am. Because like I said, if you look at it from a point of view of a person who did not grow up with a parent and they meet that father they never had, even if that father is a bum on the street, homeless, once they get to meet that person, have a conversation with that person, it would give them peace. It would give them either a new beginning with that person, or it would give them closure. But it would give them a sense of peace. So it's like, oh, now I can move on. And sometimes we get stuck in not knowing who we truly are in order to be able to move forward. And so preachers need to stop preaching and start teaching the Bible. And stop with all this theatrics. Sometimes I be seeing preachers on the internet or whatever, and it's like they're full of theatrics. You don't need to. Just teach the Bible. Teach these people. Like I said, Jesus was a teacher of the Word of God. He wasn't going around preaching to people. He was going around teaching people. And he was teaching people with parables and different things like that. But he was teaching them. He wanted them to understand who God truly were, who God truly is, and who they truly are, and who they could be if they decided to accept God in their life. And so I feel like that's what they should do, because it's like, if in the beginning of the Bible it talks about Ethiopia, but how many preachers do you really hear in the pulpit talking about Ethiopia? And Moses marrying an Ethiopian woman and stuff like that, and the lineage that we have and the connection we have in the Bible itself with the and even with the chosen people, the Jewish people, the Israelites. There are Jewish people in Ethiopia that the Jewish nation recognize that they are Jewish Ethiopians. They are, part of that family, part of the chosen people of God. And it's like, where's that conversation when it comes to preaching? Don't just preach the same thing. Turn the page and teach. And I'm sorry, it's like I'm stuttering over my words. It's like it's just going through my head. I know what I want to say, but I'm not sure if I'm getting it out in the right way, or getting it out in a way that is coming across how I want it to come across, or how I intended it to come across. But please, as Black people, put a pause on slavery and get past that. I know it's hard for us to say, I'm from this tribe, I'm from that tribe, I'm from the other tribe, but be proud of who you are. Be proud of where you came from, who you come from. And also, I don't care what style you wear your hair in. I truly don't. Whether you wear it with a relaxer, whether you wear wigs, whether you are a natural, or if you have locks. I really don't care. But learn how to take care of your hair, because they never taught us how to take care of our hair. And like I said, we lost that as part of being, you know, that part of us kind of was lost, you know, our hair and being proud of our hair, and how to take care of our hair. And so a lot of people, even people who are saying they're professionals, they're causing people to lose their hair, and they're supposed to be professionals. So it's like, you know, understand traction alopecia, and take care of your, if you're gonna wear a wig, just make sure you take care of your own hair. Have pride in who you are, and that the hair that grows out of your head is natural. It's supposed to look like it does, you know, and get away from good hair, bad hair, 4C, 3A, curly this, curly. Get away from, it's hair. It's beautiful hair. It's hair the way God intended us to have our hair. If God wanted us to have hair like everybody else, he would have done that. Because if you look at almost everybody else in the world, they got straight hair, or if they got loose, wavy hair. We are the only people who have hair like this. Don't look at it as a curse. Look at it as a blessing. We are the only people who have skin color like we do. We stand out in a crowd. Like I said, you put any other nationality together and throw a black person in there, you're going to be able to pick them out before you be able to, they say, okay, pick out the different nationality. First one you're going to call out, oh, that's a black person right there. Because that's how we are. We stand out. We are meant to be loud, and I don't mean as far as voice, but we are meant to be seen. We are meant to be seen. Our hair will draw attention. We are meant to be seen. We are meant to be, it's almost like being a light. You know, if you're in a dark place and you shine a light, I don't care how far away that light is from where you're at, you're going to see that light, and you're going to head towards that light. That is who we are. We are that light. Like I said, you're going to see us no matter where we are. We are that light. They try to make us ashamed of who we are as far as our skin color, as far as our hair. And like I said, think about why they did not want us to read. Why did they cut our hair and different things like that? Because they knew what we didn't know. But now we do know. So we should live our life accordingly and stop trying to fit in a box that we don't fit into. We would never, our hair will always be our hair. I don't care how much relaxer, how much straighten. When it grows out, it's gonna grow out. That beautiful kinkiness gonna come through, gonna show. So it's like, be proud of it. Be proud of who you are. Just take care of the hair that's on your head. Be mindful, because like in my days, we really didn't know. Like you could see my, on the sides, my edges are thin, because we used to do micro braids, and we used to get real close to the edge. It didn't care about, oh, this is going to pull our hair out or anything like that. We just wanted it to look nice. And then also when we used to do weaves, we used bonding glue right on top of our hair, because we didn't know. Y'all are in a society, y'all are in a time where you have the internet, where you should know, and can learn. But make sure you seek out the right people who's going to give you the right information. And don't be so focused on laid. My hair is laid this, laid that. Your hair is beautiful. And I understand in certain positions, I understand how you might want a certain look. That's fine. I'm not saying anything against that. But don't lose your hair permanently. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Regardless of how late you want your hair, regardless of how you want your hair, just don't lose your hair based on a hairstyle. You know, you don't want to have to wear a wig because you have to wear a wig. And I'm not talking about the people who have alopecia and they have absolutely no control over it. Because alopecia and traction alopecia are two different things. And so I'm not talking about the people who have alopecia and have absolutely no control over that, or people who may have had cancer or other medical condition and they lost their hair. I'm not talking about any of that. I do understand that. I'm talking about traction alopecia, which is something caused by an individual based on how they do their hair and how they continue to do their hair. So you have to be, love your hair enough that you want it to stay on your head more than you want the hairstyle. That's basically what I'm saying, because I do see this, women out there that have different hairstyles, whether it is a weave, whether it is a wig or pieces they have in the hair, and it's beautiful. So I'm not knocking any of that, but it's just that just take care of your hair. Be proud of your hair. Even if you look in the mirror, oh, I love my hair, throw a wig on it. Just just love who you are. Take care of your hair and know that you're beautiful. It's a lot of beautiful black women out there. It's a lot of beautiful black women out there with beautiful hair, and just you're queens. Understand that. Walk in it, especially the young girls that are coming up, and they got so much information coming at them left and right. They can be overwhelming and it can be confusing. You are beautiful. You don't have to change your body. You don't have to change your hair. You don't have to do any of that. You're beautiful just the way you are, and understand that. And for the young kings out there, understand that you need to carry yourself in a certain way. Carry yourself with respect. Respect yourself and respect others. Don't feel that you need to be out here fighting, cursing, doing this, doing that, because you are kings and you need to carry yourself that way. Everyone is beautiful. Just know that, and learn, like, you are in the Bible. God did not forget you. God did not neglect you. God did not have you there. Other people took you out of the Bible. Other people took you out of a lot of situation, but it wasn't God. God loves you. If you read the Bible, you will see yourself in there. You will see yourself in the Bible. You will see the continent of Africa in the Bible. Egypt is in Africa. Egypt is on the continent of Africa. I don't know why they try to act like it's somewhere else, but Egypt is in Africa. When Jesus was born, that's where God told Joseph to take him and his mother to Egypt, which was in Africa. So Jesus stepped his feet in Africa. So Jesus came in contact with black people, other than just the black man that helped him carry the cross. It's not written in the Bible, oh, Jesus met this black person, that black, but you gotta, it's like, come on, in Africa, no black people, Jesus didn't come in. So, don't think that we're not a part of history. Don't think we're not a vital part of history. Don't think that some of history wouldn't be history if it wasn't for us. You got a whole continent of people who's nothing but history. So just understand that. Walk with your head up high. Carry yourself as kings, as queens, because that's who you are. That's who you're descended from. And don't let anyone else tell you different. So basically that's what I wanted to say. Hope everyone have a great day.